The pilot Baywatch, Panic at Malibu Pier, started shooting on Wednesday, January 4th, 1989. First off, we filmed a scene where Parker Stevenson drives a lifeguard truck under the pier and gets stuck. By the end of the sequence, the water is up to the doors, and finally the truck is destroyed. This incident was based on a true story. It actually happened to lifeguard Richard Mark. To film the sequence properly, we needed to schedule the shoot at exactly the right time when the incoming tide was nearly high. As a lifeguard and lifelong surfer, tides to me were second nature. I knew that the timing had to be perfect. So on the day of the shoot, I was in full wetsuit, and the whole crew was in full wetsuit. We were ready to go. Then the director, Richard Compton, showed up, jeans, t-shirt, cigarette, and sunglasses. He tried to direct the sequence from the dry sand, 75 yards from the nearest actor. That was a problem. The choice of director originally had not been an easy one. 3 kinds of directors inhabit Hollywood: A, B, and C directors. We had wanted an A director, someone with an accomplished track record who had sold pilots in the past, such as Thomas Carter or Jeff Bleckner. However, none of the A team wanted to do Baywatch, so at the same time the B team disappeared into other projects. We ended up selecting from the C team. We found Richard Compton, who had done a few episodes of Miami Vice, but Richard unfortunately wasn't prepared to jump into a monstrously difficult shoot. So 3 days later, while still shooting at the pier, one of our assistants tapped me on the shoulder and pointed toward Jack Clements, the head of production for GTG, who was motioning for me to join him. I jogged over to see what he wanted. He said, "It's pretty obvious we made a mistake with this director. We want you to follow him around, look at his dailies, pick up after him, and fill any holes you can find." But I said I'm not in the Directors Guild of America. He said, "We bought you in," which means that GTG had paid the Directors Guild of America $9,000 initiation fee. Despite the somewhat rocky circumstances, this was a great day. For years I had dreamed of being in the Directors Guild, and finally it had become a reality. The Directors Guild of America per member is the richest labor union in the world. For the most part, you can't shoot a movie or a television episode in this town unless you employ a Directors Guild of America director. If for some reason the writer needs to be replaced, another writer is brought in straight away. If the director needs to be replaced, the whole production is shut down for 2 weeks while the new director becomes familiar with the production. But the next few hours at GTG headquarters filling out forms. At the end of the process, I saw that I needed 3 sponsors, people who were already members of the Directors Guild of America. The first 2 were easy, Jay Sandrich and Jack Clements. For the third sponsor, Jay suggested that I go back to the beach and seek out Richard Compton. Jay was right. It was better that Richard found out the situation from me rather than second me. And back at the beach, I explained to Richard that I wanted to work with him, not against him, and overall we both had the best interests of the show at heart. Richard became my third sponsor into the Directors Guild of America. I was handling the directing during one of the first beach scenes we filmed. Before we got started with the day's work, I called together the stars, and I told them, "Don't expect a stunt double to take your place when we get to the water shoots. This show is all about lifeguards rescuing people. You are the lifeguards. The key thing to keep in mind is that your face is the only part of your body sticking out of the water when you're swimming. We've got to be able to see your face." It's important to know the difference between stunt work and action. Rolling a car is a stunt. Swimming across a pool is action. Quite often, actors will say they do their own stunts. They can't do their own stunts. They're not insured to do stunts. Almost inevitably, the actor means he does his own action scenes. For example, an action star like Steven Seagal mock kicking someone in the head. By the Baywatch definition, swimming in the ocean and making a rescue is not a stunt. It's action. I said to the actors, "You must swim up and get this victim. If you don't, I'll never see your face and the audience will never know that you're the hero." David Hasselhoff and Sean Weatherly jumped right in without hesitation. The other actors followed their lead.
Don't you know? Ain't gonna stop until we're satisfied. Don't you know? We shouldn't stop until we're satisfied. Yeah.
The pilot aired on Sunday, April 23rd, 1989. NBC did a magnificent job promoting it, including a full-page ad and TV guide. The promos were great, the time slot was excellent. Unfortunately, the reviews that came out on the day of the premiere stunk. One reviewer said, "If you've seen one beach party, you've seen them all." Yet we hadn't included a beach party in the show for the very reason that we wanted to avoid any obvious beach cliches. Later I found out that this reviewer had never even seen the pilot. The reviewers may not have liked it, but the audience did. Baywatch earned a 17.1 rating and a 34 share, the highest rated movie for the week. As time went on, Baywatch became the highest rated movie for the month. Only one question remained: would Baywatch be picked up for a series?